I'm gonna be playing Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. Gotta say, I'm actually in a pretty good mood right now. I just came out of the shower. I had all of my, my promo stuff on Twitter and various Discords all set to go ahead of time. And I also had a pot of coffee ready to go ahead of time. So now my mug is completely full. And tonight's game, even if it's a horror game, I actually I quite like this game a lot. I anticipate, even if the nature of the game has certain similarities to a certain SCP name or game whose name I dread to repeat, this time around it's actually more like Containment Breach, where if I get jump scared, I'm either going to laugh at it, laugh at my flinching, at my surprise, or at worst, I will just get annoyed by it. But, this is, again, similar to Containment Breach. This game I actually know a fair bit about, so, there's not a whole lot of room for surprises, with Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. There's a lot I am already familiar with. And I will say, even if the game, provides the goal of 1,000 rooms, I kind of want to split the effort into 2 parts. So I'm gonna try for 500 tonight, and then make up the other 500 at a different point. Probably maybe next Thursday stream, because Monday I have plans. Different plans. But I will reveal that information at the end of stream. And if, for some reason, this, 500 rooms actually goes by fairly quickly, I'm thinking I might, read, a creepy story or 2. There's a particular series I've had my eye on, for a while, but that will come when it comes. In fact, it would probably be a fine time to get into that said reading material somewhere in the month, because it's Spoopy month. Granted, the content is enormous, so it's probably not all going to be covered in one month, unless maybe I go 24/7, constant streaming every day, just to go from story to story to story to story to story, And I don't want to do that. That's no fun. And I will burn myself out if I do that. Anyhow. Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. Let's go! Okay, I got to open up the game. I have it on window capture, because I really only stream games in windowed mode. It just seems to be the most convenient for me. And in terms of certain other games, it's actually the significantly preferable method. Alright, open game. Oh, before I forget, it's probably going to be evident after I open the game, but, hang on. Here we go. This is the, I guess what you could call the standard definition version. Oh yes, very important warning. it's the standard definition version because I can't afford the HD renovation. I have no money, are you crazy? Okay. For as long as you can remember, legends have been told about the derelict mansion upon the hill that casts a blanket of darkness over the town. The history of the house itself is virtually unknown, and even the town's oldest residents cannot remember the mansion's origin. Being an avid history enthusiast, you embark up the mountain to visit the manor, hoping to shed some light on the backstory of this crumbling fortress of darkness. Ooh. Alright. Entor? What? What? Oh my god, I've never seen that before. Spooky sandcastle of land sharks. See, there's room for surprises. That's funny. Okay, so real quick, I want to set frame rate to low. I can support 60 FPS, but, you know. Oh, hi, Spooky. But, you know. I don't want to be held responsible for any eye strain that my lily pals are subjected to. Okay, the window is set in a place where I can see chat if I need to. Let's say we get started. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh, endless mode. I thought that was HD only. Or like, whatever, like DLC only. Oh, cool. But I'm gonna be active. I'm gonna be playing it traditionally. Alright. WASD. Look with mouse, activate E, sprint shift, use weapon, yeah. Alright.
Hello, I am Spooky.
Hi, Spooky.
And this is my home. Can you, humble player, make it through 1,000 rooms? Can you find what lies at the end? Or is there even an end? Because I don't really know. Anyway, just go.
Bye. I'm not gonna make it through 1,000 rooms tonight. Hope you don't mind I split it up. And I know I just started, but I want to... Hang on. Wait, no! No, I exited the game! Shit! I wanted to adjust the mouse sensitivity. Hopefully I can do that. Whoopsie doodles! Well, this will give a little more time for people to filter in. F4. Yep. There we go. Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. Alright. Actually, I'm probably safe to keep it on 60, at least for now. I'll change it if I try to change it, I won't be able to change it until I hit a checkpoint, but, oh well. And it doesn't seem like mouse sensitivity is an option anyway. Shit. Let me just move my mouse pad over in that case. Hopefully this will provide enough room, like, to move around or, like, look around as quickly as need be. Alright. Continue. Alright. Yes.
Hello, I am Spooky.
Yes, I know. Alright. Okay. I'll try to read as much as I can. Oh, hi! Right off the bat, it wasn't even a cute one. Or, I mean, it was a cute one, but with spoopy face. Uh-huh. At first, this place just seemed cute, but I've been here for days now. I'm feeling quite parched now, and I keep getting this feeling like I'm being watched by something. This is not romantic at all. Okay. Alright. Non-Euclidean geometry. Oh, is this... Is it... No, no. It's not the room I'm thinking of. I still love the style. It's very stylish. Like, just all the PNG, all the sprite and graphics works. Woo! Hehe. Rustling in my headphones. Yep. Let me just adjust the volume on my headphones just a bit. Will my lily pals get nervous with how much I sprint? Time will tell. Okay. Anything to read? No. Oh, there's only one door that works, and I just got it. Well, I couldn't move for a second. Even with the ones with the fences, I know they can pop up. Ah! That was a spooky one. Well, there's a cute one. My luck isn't always the best when it comes to procedurally generated stuff. 47! Ah, Pog! Pog, my favorite number. Honestly, if I make it to 470, I'll be satisfied. First checkpoint! Keep that blood a-pumpin'. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Jumpin' jacks. I know something is following me, but I feel like I am prancing through the same rooms over and over. Hopefully, leaving notes as breadcrumbs will prove I am making progress in reaching some destination. I just hope I don't run out of ink. I'm dreadfully thirsty. Checkpoint! Okay. There we go. Resident Evil reference. That's another thing I really like about this game, is just like, it's essentially a love letter to a lot of other horror games, isn't it? Like, there's so many references. Which, you know, if anybody is unfamiliar, I can point them out as need be. Da 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 da. Up! Game's really starting now. Spouting, splashing, soaking, innards, ingest, invoking, nailing, never stops the joking. Hi, bro. Hello. You won't get me. What the? I know that was a spider, but like, I didn't catch what that soundbite was. Dum-dee-doo. Whoa. Oh, hi. Yes, hello. You think it's always the narrow corridors where you're the most prone to getting jump scared, but in my experience, that's not really the case. Wait. No more puddles. Cool. Dum-da-dum. Whoa. Maze time. Maze time, maze time. Maze time, grace time. This way? No! I've been bamboozled. No, another one! Well, this isn't a maze so much as just it's long and winding. Which, if you're being chased by something that is not bound by the same rules, gets a little dicey. Dum-de-dum-de-doo. Find it a bit frustrating to, like, go into a room and just immediately be face first into a wall. Long, winding pit path. Wonder if one of these days I should play Slitherio. Up-de-dop-de-doo. More mazery. More mazery. It's crazery. Pretty sure it's... No! I've been bamboozled! I've been smeckledorfed. I've been hornswoggled. That looks like an endless hallway. I will just avoid that. I was actually worried I would... Oh! Oh, Puddle Dude is back. We're almost on our next checkpoint, though. Well. It was nice seeing you, dude. Bye. Keep a little pep in your step. You don't know how true that is. I have my trusty smiley face mug right to here. Ink. Not quite quenching my thirst. taste is terrible. Stains are terrible. I don't think drinking it was a very romantic idea. Save! Push button. I'm starting to think 500 might actually be too little. We'll see. We'll see. Oh. New textures. Whoop. Going to a very bright room with shrubbery outside. And is that that one guy, Call Me Carson? I don't know who this is. I don't know whose icon that is. I feel like I should know this guy. I am... it's not Angry Joe. It doesn't look like Angry Joe. No idea. No idea. But I feel like I should know him. It's a Wade? Huh. Well, so hello, Zero. I've already made it a fifth of the way of my goal. I'm starting to think, ooh! Arcade! I'm starting to think like 500 rooms might actually be, like, not enough. Oh, okay. Da-da-da. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, bam! Should've done SCP breach. I did that last spooky stream. Okay. Backspace. And then Maul of the Spook. Yeah, it wasn't, last stream, but it was, like, the stream before that. But don't you worry. The VOD is on my YouTube, which the link should be, just below, if you want to watch that for later. Granted, I started out with SCP-087-B. I did not have a fun time. Yep. Graphic myrtleizations of 2D sprites. Some of the heads are just lopped off, other heads explode, you know. Da. Da. What if? Bam. Anything there? No. I think this bears significance later on, but... Okay, yeah, usually the first turn is left. No! Dum-da-dum. Face first into a wall. Locked. Ooh, it's one of these rooms. I like these rooms. Straight? Nope. Okay, left. Left. Straight. Ow! Left, left, straight, straight. Got it. Ooh. Here we can have an itty bitty piggy inside cat DOS. Yep. Wait, what was it called? Specimen 1, yeah. Type docile, total fatalities 4, method heart attack. A cardboard cutout figure that springs out from the walls. Proved not very effective against healthy subjects. You looking at me, baby! SCP-2. Specimen 2. Type active, 137 fatalities. Method physical tearing, a mostly semi-solid based specter that frequently changes matter states. Proved very effective against weaker or slower subjects. Specimen 3. Active in testing, total fatalities 43. Method infectious bites. A test specimen being developed at GL Labs. Could prove useful when released. Trials have shown it is adequately effective to average subjects. Average. That also sounds like me. Specimen 4, active, 85 fatalities. Method consumption, a 14th century spirit that was contained and relocated here. Tests have yet to reveal origins, but all relevant information has been placed into testing chamber. Proved effective, but not greatly more than previous specimens. 5. Active, 168 fatalities? Method unknown. A creature found inside the church of a small town. Subjects are lost after contact with the specimen. Current method of killing is unknown. Proved extremely effective against subjects with mental issues or weak wills. I imagine that's highly variable. Error. Neato. I already knew all that, but, you know. Da-da-da. Aha! You're here in a laboratory. Gross organisms. One of the glasses smashed. Blood? Subject 5 is growing more and more restless. I told Spook we need more funds for sedatives, but she just laughed and flew into the ceiling. Without more chemicals to keep these things docile, I'm not sure how much longer we can keep them here safely. I came from there. Okay. Locked. Locked? What dare? Oh, right. Key card. Yeah. Alright. Can we check? Nope. I need to know. Okay. Oh! Hello, little buddy. I didn't know it. Ah! Man, I didn't know it would spawn, like, right out the gate. Oh, jeez. This isn't fair. Ah! I can't move. Ah. Ugh. Yeah, I think I prefer the HD version of this dude. Oh, that's a different soundbite. Yeah, I'd just rather not. Hello. Oh, I found something. Oh, found something today to satisfy my unromantic thirst. I awoke today from a brief faint and found before me a bottle of red wine. I'm not sure what brand or year, for there is no label. All I gather is that it tastes strongly metallic. Iron wine. It's in this season. I'm a little curious where all those pits lead. Oh, wait. Oh, I know this one. My loins are ready. My lesbian loins are ready! Wait. This was such a surprise that there would be another entry. Another actual entry. One I could admire. But then as suddenly as it came, it left. And now you disband. Your influence and inspiration will never leave me. My loins are ready! My loins are ready! Really now. Uh-huh. What the hell? It didn't happen! What the hell? I feel ripped off! Oh, another arcade. And we reach a checkpoint! It's just a cat. Just kitty. I don't think that was one. Man, my loins were ready and everything. My heart was pumping. What the fuck? It'll probably happen in the future. Oop! Icky gooey guy. Icky gooey toothy guy. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. He's not constrained by the same boundaries as I, a physical mortal. Yep. I got a snip at me. Haha, juked! It's kind of forgiving there for a bit. Ooh! No more icky gooey guy. But we got something new. It appears to be a school hallway. In closing time. Japanese. There's a QB over there. Matsuri never came to class today. I hope she made it home okay. Press X to doubt. I heard that. There she is, the woman of the hour. So for those that are unaware, this ghost gal is specifically, or this ghost gal plus the classrooms and such, are specifically a reference to Misao, a JRPG horror game. I've never seen a playthrough of it, but oh! Sneaky, sneaky. Uh-oh. She's still coming? Yep. She can phase through walls. Nope, she's still coming. The music changed, so... Nani? Still coming? Yep. These are her floors. Whoa! Oh, I can't... Hello? Why does it do that sometimes? I half wonder if that's intentional. Grapefruits! No, no, just grapes. Very adorable grapes. Okay, she is gone. It's hard to tell, because I didn't hear any music. Ugh! Why do I always get gross slimes? Why can't I get the cute ones? Okay, come on. Oh! Brains, brains, I won't lie. I'll eat the brains till they're zombified. Sure, they might think it's deranged, but they won't give it a thought after I've eaten their brains. Oh, Elizabeth Lily2, thank you for the follow. Thank you for becoming a Lily Pal. We're just trucking through. Almost to our next checkpoint. Checkpoint! Kitty! I don't know how much longer I can go on. I haven't seen any of my previous notes, so that means either I'm getting somewhere, or someone is taking them. Man, we are already almost halfway there. We're following all the Yakuza team members. Yeah! Moonlit Yakuza! I forgot to mention to my Lily Pals that I joined Yakuza Mom's Twitch team. So go check out all of the lovely Yakuza members. Yakuza Mom herself especially. She is fantastic. Hang on. I will hydrate in just a moment. No. I guess, like, Remind me later. Remind me post-stream. I'll shout out Yakuza Mom then. Properly. Because she doesn't go by Yakuza Mom on Twitch. Coffee consumed. Gonna run and follow others. Have a great stream. I adore this game. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have fun in your stream hopping. I love this game too. Okay. Castle dungeon tone. Ooh, bug time. Oh no, I got stick bugged. No. Does the bug even appear in this room? Huh? Nope, the bug hasn't stopped yet. Oh! Here we go, more unique rooms. This one actually might be a little tricky. Broken. Not broken. The darkness is slowly consuming us now. I don't think our rituals will appease it much longer. How are we supposed to know this would happen? Blanky. It's not really our fault. We just did what Mother has told us to do in this sort of situation. Somebody made a mess in their bed. Mother's not pleased with us, but how are we supposed to know that the girl wasn't pure? Okay. Hey, Han Solo. Fancy seeing you here. That one's caged up. Getting all sorts of foggy now. Radio! And there she is, there she be. And yeah, now it's... nope. Gah! Strobing effects. Warning. So, this monster, this specimen, and those metallic rooms, and the disorientation effect, they are all references to Silent Hill, I believe. Yeah, this specimen is essentially kind of like Pyramid Head. Maybe. Possibly. I'm not terribly familiar with Silent Hill, I gotta admit. It's okay. Just gotta stay focused. Stay focused on getting out. Is she gone? She's gone. Cool. I don't hear music playing, so I'm going to assume that Ghost Girl has not arrived yet. And Icky Sticky Gooey Guy has definitely not appeared yet. Oh. Now I know where to go. Pumpkin! God, I want pumpkin pie already so bad. Gimme! Gimme sugar! Gimme sweetness! Ooh! Left. Left. Straight. Don't! Almost the same. Whoops. Damn it. Left, left. Straight. Left. Boiler room after boiler room. More computer. Ice cream! Oh, I scream for ice cream. Hello, Spooky.
So, you made it this far. That's it. I shall grant you a gift for your progress. So just keep going.
There may be one or two gay thoughts, but a little present for me? Oh, I see. I see your game. So the real surprise, right there. Yay! Cute slimes! Cute ghosts. Cute skelly mans. Password pumpkin. Thanks, Spooky. I love this present. Ooh. I think this may be my last note. I am going to die having never found my escape. But really, that's not true. This place was like my escape from everything else. In the end, my death is kind of romantic. Glad you can see the bright side, buddy. There's the music. Figured it was about time for her to show back up. I think it's funny I can make out her shadow just amongst the darkness. If I'm honest, I actually kind of like this tune. I know, like, tonal juxtaposition and whatnot, but, like, it's actually really nice. And she's gone. Just like that. It's just ambient. Hello, grape. What if it was just Grape Ape? God, do people even know who Grape Ape is anymore? Ooh, what is that ambience? I am unfamiliar. Oh well. Progress being had. Face first into a boiler is like being met face first with a wall. Kind of annoying. Not left this time. Straight. Nope. Straight. Left. Nope. Straight. Right. Left. Straight. Right. Straight. Okay, straight, right, straight. Right. No. Straight, right, straight, left. There we go. Exercising our brain cell. Arcade! Computer? Another arcade? Goodness. Oh god, scary! The scariest creatures of all, gamers! Ooh, these tunes. Nicely beat. This music's not associated with a monster, right? I don't think so. Hopefully! Oh, there's our little poet dude. No pep in your step. I'm going to take that as just an in-game hydrate redeem. Did I hear a meow? Okay. 300 floors. More than halfway there. Ooh. Oh, we're here again. And the music has returned. And so has Ikigui Guy. Man, he's gotta ruin the vibes. Oh lordy, coming. Nope. Left. Doop-de-doo. Hum-de-dum. Oh. Thank you, Santee. I shall stretch. I'm gonna stretch in multiple different ways. I kinda needed that. I was just a little bit stiff. Alright. Okay. Alright. I wonder if a certain mask was supposed to be here, and then it got removed for some reason. One day, a strange merchant came to town. He sold handmade puppets and trinkets, and all the children loved his store and his gifts. But the town couldn't support his store because the other shops were failing. The other shopkeepers became jealous. So one night, some of the townspeople took all his puppets and threw them in the river. But just afterwards, he came running to the river, crying and wailing that his children were being drowned. He dove into the river trying to save his possessions. The townspeople, bitter and still angry, watched him frantically thrash and dive into the river until he never came back to the surface of the water. Locked. Oh, right. Is there a key in here? Here. It's the standard definition version, so it's a little hard to see. This is not the correct room. Not just yet. Although not what they wanted, the shopkeepers were satisfied. Years later, the children of the town began to go missing, and as more and more children disappeared, people began to find more and more puppets in the forest and around the river. These puppets seemed almost to look like the missing children sometimes. Hello, mister. Oh! Ah! What the? Oh god. Oh god. No, 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 no. No, no. I'm not watching that. No. No. No, 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 no. No! Okay. Not even OBS is safe. Okay. To become a puppet is to rid oneself of the pain and harshness of choice. Now nothing you do is your fault. Now you belong to something. And you belong to me. Oh dear. Yeah, so, as far as, so as far as, like, game overs go, for me, that one is by far the worst. You see, I have... You've never seen this game before, oh. Oh, there it is again! Spooky Sandcastle of Land Sharks! So... You know... I happen to have an itty-bitty little personal weakness towards, towards something, and it's particularly termed as a thing, it's just a small little thing, it's called scopophobia. It means, I mean, technically it means, like, the irrational fear of just being stared at, but for me that extends to various manners of eye horror, like eyeball horror. I can't take it. It makes me so anxious. Cannot handle that shit. So, I had to tab out. Although, so go as a big eyeball. I is that how it works? I don't think that's how it works. But I do know that specimen in particular was a reference, well, kind of a dual reference. It was kind of like a double reference to both, like, the mask dude from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, as well as a little bit of a nod to the creepypasta Ben Drowned, also dealing with Majora's Mask. So, you know, kind of a double reference of a video game as well as a creepypasta. A rather good creepypasta, honestly. It's actually, like, it also kind of delves into ARG territory. It's really good. So, aside from that ending, I find myself kind of confused. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, I actually know how the Puppet Man works. Like, he kind of works like SCP-173, where, like, as long as you look at him, he won't move, at least for a time. But at the same time, like, he also, like, drops down directly in front of you. Yes, a statue. Like, directly behind you to try and, like, stab you in the back. So, like, I was constantly checking my flank, and it doesn't seem to have worked. So, huh. Well, the good news is, I lost my train of thought. Oh, right, at least, the last checkpoint doesn't stray too far from, like, where he first appears, so we can easily just pick up right where we left off. Yep, right here. Keep that blood pumping. This place is finally starting to affect me. I've seen enough horror movies to know how to survive a simple ghost or two, but these monsters keep getting faster and stranger. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, last time, wasn't it like a keep a pep in your step poster? Changes between load states too, I guess. Alright. Maybe I was just like looking behind me too quickly, or like too often, so that like tripped me up. Like, I know the main tactic to avoid Puppet Man is, like, just to keep moving. Like, don't stay still for too long. And, you know, keep your eye on him, you know. Oh!
Hello? I don't know if you want to look directly into the fan. Yes, hello? 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 Hi. Yes, hello? Hello? Yes, hello?
Sorry, social anxiety means I don't answer the phone.
Help?
Alright, so that was a small little reference to Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, at the very beginning of the game when, you know, phone guy calls you up. Gives you the lowdown. Man, did this game come out, like, just as the first Five Nights at Freddy's was getting popular? This game came out in 2014. Or at least this version is circa 2014. I don't remember when the first FNAF came out. Oh, and for the record, I have no intention of playing any of the Five Nights at Freddy's games. Not because, like, I'm particularly scared of them. Like, I've seen all the tricks and stuff. But, yeah, it's just I have thoughts about, Scott. Alright, so I already read all the notes. Nope. Nope, can't go here yet. Gotta be, like, right up close and personal to that key. Alright. So, at the risk of, like, getting another, you know, bad ending, I'm gonna try and, like, take this a little slow. Yeah? I see you. You're right there. Clear as day. There you are. Ah! Maybe I'll just do what I've usually been doing and just keep going. Just keep moving. Oh boy. He's floating! He's a-floating. Okay. Ah! The damage effects spook me more than he does. Now watch as I jinx myself. Okay, I think he's gone. When the music stops, that usually means they're gone. Whew. Free to progress. Non-Euclidean geometry. In order to survive this house, I need to keep writing notes. I must do everything a central protagonist would, and hope this is one of those stories. Insert obscure horror reference that no one gets and misinterprets as instructions somehow. I don't really see myself as a protagonist, just, you know. It's kind of like entering a horror house, or like a haunted house, rather. Like, you're just kind of there for the ride. You're not, like, solving a major conflict or anything. You're just there for the thrill. Alright. Tum-de-dum. Ooh! More gross test tube stuff. Brains, brains, it's okay. It's not a matter if it isn't gray. And if at first they think it's strange, they won't think twice after they don't have a brain. Oh no, toast! Whoop! Bug time. It's a bug. It's a bug time. Oh, there's an audible cue. Okay, really, does the bug... Ah! Oh, he's right there. Oh, he's right on my booty. Oh no! Oh no. Oh no! Had to make sacrifices. Alright. Duly noted. He can still get me in those rooms. Hi, Toast. By the way, I'm curious, do any of my lily pals actually not have arachnophobia? I'm pretty sure I don't. At least, not as much as most people do. My fear, and mainly, like my insect fear, my bug fear, my creepy crawly fear, has to do with wasps and hornets. Nuh-uh, no thanks. Straight, left, straight, straight right, straight right, straight, straight, no, straight right, straight left, yes. And you have an irrational fear of balloons and thunder. Interesting. I think I've heard of the phobia around balloons. I forget what it's called. Thunder is understandable. Oh. My loins are ready. My loins are ready. You can't get me that easy. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. 25 to the next checkpoint. And then we'll be on the final stretch already. Jeez. Oh, nope. Hornswoggled yet again. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I haven't seen that painting before. Very interesting. More beep boops. More brains. Can you explain why your character's in here or what this place is? At the very beginning it explains, like, there's just this big mansion, castle place. Oh. Hello, ghost girl. basically, I'm just a person, a historian, presumably, that wants to, like, document everything about this mansion and such, which is owned by a ghost girl by the name of Spooky. This is not Spooky. This is a different ghost girl. Oh no, slime! And basically, in order to, like, get the gist of this place, our mission is just to make it through 1,000 rooms. 1,000 rooms of fright and terror. Yeah, our character doesn't really have any other motivation just than academic intrigue. Okay. Okay. And, you know, just from a mechanics standpoint... Oh, we're here. Geolabs. Hang in there! From a mechanics standpoint, like, every one of the 1,000 rooms is completely, procedurally generated. So, like, you can get the gist of all the threats that exist, within the mansion, but, like, every individual room is gonna be different. So, like, different tactics each and every time, or, like, different orientation. Well, I still haven't died, so it appears I might be the protagonist. But I'm not entirely sure. I hope I'm not some side character that leaves notes for pointless exposition. Also, I found a strange computer that gave descriptions of the monsters. And it seems like they are called effective based on how many people they kill. There's definitely more lore to this game, but it takes the form of DLC, mostly, so we won't be seeing any of that tonight. Not to mention, you know, even though there's 1,000 rooms, my goal is only 500, just for tonight. And it seems like we're approaching that goal starkly fast. Like, much faster than I anticipated. So, looks like I might have to get ready for story time. We are on the final stretch. Oh no, Sans Undertale. And let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different monsters we've encountered so far. There are more, but they won't appear until later. Oh.
Oh, hello there. Are you lost, little one?
In a sense, maybe. I like your clock. Big fan of clocks. You mind if I just take a look around? Ooh.
Balance is key to keeping your mind free and sane.
Indeed. Thank you, Kitty, for the advice. Anything more to say here? No.
Two sides of the same coin. Knowing your projections can help you achieve greater.
I don't want to look directly at that compass because it looks like an eyeball, and I already explained why that doesn't vibe with me.
The mask you wear serves its purpose well, but be careful not to lose yourself in it.
Oh dear, did I come in at an opportune time? It seems like you intended to clean this spot up a bit before I arrived.
Knowing your shadow can greatly help you, but be ready to see what you'd rather not be.
Indeed. Whew. I'll explain the gist of what's going on here, when I can. I just hope I don't take a wrong turn. I do appreciate that there's a myriad of scares in this game that are not strictly jump scares. Like, I know it says, like, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion on its sleeve, but, like, yeah. Well, that was nice. Slimes! Cute cuddly slimes! The horror. Okay. Let's take a look at the computer again. Specimen 6, Puppet Man. Active, 189 fatalities. Method, physical punctures. A wooden life-size puppet found floating in a reservoir where a town had once been. Specimen is active despite appearance, and has proved very effective on subjects who disregard it or have vision impairments. See, I tried paying attention to it, and it didn't work. So, might want to do more tests, Spooky. Specimen 7. Okay. Type unknown. 93 fatalities. Method unknown. Specimen is constantly changing form and attributes depending on subject's personality, but most common form resembles a wall of moving anatomy symbols, only effective on subjects with past trauma or a history of psychological issues. This was what we were just up against. And to my knowledge, it's the only time in the entire game that we have to face it. And basically the whole deal was just to keep a sound mind, concentrate on finding the door out of each room. If you take too long, the wall of flesh it slowly approaches and just consumes you. So, yeah, you don't want to dawdle. But you also want to make sure you don't, take a wrong turn, because then you have to turn back. Specimen 8. Active. 149 fatalities. Method absorption. Have I played Sea of Thieves? No, I don't own it. And I have no money to my name, so... I've seen some videos of it. Okay then. Honestly, I've heard worse, but... damn my trusting nature. Okay. A floating figure that appeared in a test chamber a few years after it was filled with what was believed to just be unusually violent deer. Specimen seems to engulf subjects and absorb them into its torso region. Proved extremely effective on violent subjects. I don't do it often, but it was funny. You do what you do, I guess. Specimen blank. Uh-huh. 362 fatalities, type exterminated. Method unknown. A small skull-shaped mass of clay that seemed to gain more form as subjects were taken. Specimen was deemed too hard to contain and was killed and dismantled by GL Labs. Or was it? 10. A worm-like creature that inhabits the old rundown GL Labs, a genetically modified eel that was supposed to be extremely violent, but instead was very passive. Though not effective, it was kept as a pet until the facility was abandoned due to specimen... No. I have not heard of it. $11? Oh. Active, 317 fatalities, method unknown. A floating red figure that was found inside a secret area below a large... countries and animations. Found inside a secret... Trying to keep up with chat! Floating red figure that was found inside a secret area below a large abandoned corporate office once owned by a restaurant franchise. The specimen is extremely violent and also seems to leave the house at will, despite various containment methods. Victims vanish on contact with specimen, but sometimes remains of the victims have been found inside the testing chamber days later. Proved not effective as victims' souls do not remain after contact. Do I have a favorite specimen? So far? I mean, I like them all, but if I had to pick... I think I actually like, which one was it? Was it 3? No. 4. Ghost Girl. And then there's a different one later on that's not listed, spoiler alert, that I also like, mainly on novelty value. Or at least, like, in terms of its, in terms of the reference it makes, you know. Okay. Oh dear. Oh! Oh, we got the mysterious, reality warping chick right off the bat. I kind of like this one too, also because of its concept. Like, this could theoretically be anything, but, you know, it seems to yield a pretty universal creep factor. Oh boy. And, yep, there she comes. Yep, slowly approacheth. Oh, Nope, nope, it's the maze one. I thought it was just the windy road, but nope. No! I've been tricked! I do like that it offers like a bit of a reprieve from the hallucinations for small intervals. Oh, maybe it explains the missing floor. Cool. No time to dawdle. Well, I can see it's not entirely her doing. Okay. Straight. Straight. Nope. Straight, straight. Straight, straight, straight. Left. Haha! Oh, hello. Creepy slime, I did not miss you. Oh, we're here again. You know, I'm pretty sure this is a specimen that's not listed. Nope, I read that already. Huh, it didn't happen again. So strange. It's almost like it knows. Okay. Oh. Bye-bye, floor. I shall hydrate. Thank you, Santi. I got to use, like, the last of the salted caramel syrup in this coffee, so it's just a little bit extra sweet. Because, like, normally I do 2 teaspoons, but, since, like, the bottle was already fairly low, like, well, actually very low, but, like, I just kind of dumped the rest of it into my mug. Well, Lily Pals, it appears we are almost there. Yeah. I don't like that crackling. That's not just me, right? Oh! Who dat? Oh god. It's Ghost Girl! But there's no Muzak. How disappointing. I wish I could give you a kiss, but, you know how it is. You look like you could use a friend. Maybe even a girlfriend? She's still coming? Yep. She's still coming? Yep. Bye-bye, my sweet. Hello, Spooky.
Well, here you are. Alive and still here. You just keep on going, don't you? Well, the next door has been fixed up.
Oh my.
So enjoy and keep moving on. You little fleshy.
Oh my, the audio. It's getting crunchy. With password cheese. This is it, Lily Pals. I reached my goal in an hour and 40 minutes. Ah! Raiders! Raiders! Lee-Short! Hello, thank you for the raid! Goblin raid! Woo! You kind of came at a semi-inopportune time. Yeah, I just... I was playing, Christopher will give it hugs. Oh, thank you. And thank you, Grand Lotus Gaming, for becoming a Lily Pal. Somewhat of an inopportune time. I just, met my goal for doing 500 rooms of Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. Woo! And the fact that I completed it so early, it means I'm gonna be just transitioning to something a little different, a little more chill, relatively speaking. Goblin raid, so many goblins! Woo! Yakuza raid! Woo woo! Okay, by the way, The Short, how was your stream? What did you stream? I would very much like to know. You support Frog, not particularly see Spooky Mansion. That's fair, and that's appreciated. Readers, I am your beloved Essie. I am a magical froggy girl. We did Back for Blood, followed by Diablo 2, and then Potato Chips. That sounds like a dark and yet fantastic time. Wunderbar. I wish I had potato chips, or at least more than like regular ass salty tortilla chips. I want variety in my pantry, damn it. I saw that. I see you, Spooky. You think you're all that? Guess what? You are all that. I love you. And not because you're cute. Yeah? Not because you're cute. Oh, by the way, before I close the game, for real, to my knowledge, there's somewhat of a bug, considering this pause screen. Hang on. Malice the Wanderer, thank you for the follow. Thank you for becoming a Lily Pal. I'm aware of, like, a minor bug in this, pause screen. If it's still active... Oh no, it's not. Damn. Well, the bug was that, if you kept pressing escape, like, over and over again, like, the screen would just grow bluer and bluer and bluer. Lakers Family Chapter Twitch Team Gobble Raid! Woo! Praise Cowblin! Whoa. There was just this random little wad of hair on my skirt. Just set that aside to throw away later. Alright. Alright, yeah. Thank you for anyone who has watched me fulfill the first 500 rooms. one little slip up, one little horrifying slip up, but you know, we persevered. And you know, the fact that I adore this game so much was not enough to deter me from the challenge. Anyhow, I'm gonna swap to my main screen real quick, because now that I've completed my goal prematurely, I mentioned there was a particular series of creepy stories that I had an interest in reading. For all of my lily pals. You know, one day or another, or another, or another. And I will say, you know, just preemptively, these stories can get very, very graphic. So, like, if you're particularly sensitive to, you know, like violence or various forms of abuse or horror, you know, like existential or like gross, graphic, gory stuff, this might not be for you. I personally find these stories much more interesting than I actually think, like scary. But there is absolutely a creep factor to a lot of them. And the formula, it follows a very strict formula. But you know, like, all the pieces put together in various forms are what, like, a lot of the where a lot of the intrigue stems. I can talk. Right. So I'm just quickly opening up the page. Alright. So, who here has ever heard of a creepypasta adjacent series known as The Holders? Because I am about to read The Holders, starting with number 1, and I'm going to read every single one over a stretch of time in my streaming career. I intend to get from 1 to 538. It's a very specific number. Starting with The Holder of the End. I'm going to scream and cry, got that. It's spooky, aw. Well, I will root for you if ever you attempt it in the future. Okay, so the gist, for those who don't know, of The Holders is that there are 538 of these sacred objects, and they all take different forms, and there are very specific trials that a seeker has to go through in order to obtain each and every one. And there are 3 primary goals in seeking out these objects, because each of these objects may contain like certain abilities or powers that may shape or reshape reality in various ways. The 3 main goals, simply put, is you seek either for power, or seeking for unity, or seeking for separation. Because the thing about all these objects is that they must never be brought back together for any reason. Exactly why, well, we might learn if we begin. I know the original website for the holders is down, seemingly, so I have to read them from a fan wikia. And yeah, I'll just have this up in case anybody wants to read along with me, or else feel free to put me in the background and just listen and enjoy. So, the Holder of the End. The Holder of the End is the first holder of the Holder series. The Holder appears as a person of ambiguous shape and size, speaking in an unknown tongue. He is very violent and will attack anyone who provokes him, either by asking the wrong question or by gazing upon the object in his hands. Okay. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls themselves the Holder of the End. Should a look of childlike fear come over the worker's face, you will then be taken to a cell in the building. It will be in a deep hidden section of the building. All you will hear is the sound of someone talking to themselves echo the halls. It is in a language that you will not understand, but your very soul will feel unspeakable fear. Should the talking stop at any time, stop and quickly say aloud, "I'm just passing through. I wish to talk." If you still hear silence, flee. Leave. Do not stop for anything. Do not go home. Do not stay at an inn. Just keep moving, and sleep where your body drops. You will know in the morning if you've escaped. If the voice in the hall comes back after you utter those words, continue on. Upon reaching the cell, all you will see is a windowless room with a person in the corner, speaking an unknown language, and cradling something. The person will only respond to one question. What happens when they all come together? The person will then stare into your eyes and answer your question in horrifying detail. Many go mad in that very cell. Some disappear soon after the meeting, and a few end their lives. But most do the worst thing, and look upon the object in the person's hands. You will want to as well. Be warned that if you do, your death will be one of cruelty and unrelenting horror. Your death will be in that room, by that person's hands. That object is one of 538. They must never come together. Never. Holder 2. The Holder of the Beginning. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask the clerk for permission to visit someone who calls herself the Holder of the Beginning. A small smile will work its way over their mouth, almost as if to say, "You fool." You will then be taken down a long hallway, long enough that you would expect it to lead outside of the building, yet in clear violation of the laws of space and physics. It instead leads deep into the heart of the institution. The hall will be forever silent, even if you try to make noise. Screams will die before leaving your mouth, and footsteps will be muffled. In lieu of speech, your guide will simply point to a door. Beyond it lies a cozy room filled with a pleasant yet unidentifiable perfume. At the room's center, a beautiful woman holds her empty arms, as if cradling something. This room will remain just as silent as the hallway that led to it. until you ask a singular question. Why were they separated? The woman will then explain, in excruciating detail, every horrific event in history. Every beating, every war, every rape, every killing. No travesty in the history of the universe will escape your ears. When she finishes, all will fall silent, and you will be free to leave. It is up to you to do what you will with this information. That woman is Object 2 of 538. It is up to you if they should be joined or not. And before I move on, I'm actually quickly going to change the category, because I'm no longer playing spooky. I'm also going to change stream title. It's still spooky though. That's the idea. Just chatting, and then ooh, oh my. That was almost a really unfortunate Freudian slip. Okay, there we go. Changing the tags. Alright. Next. The holder of eternity. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of eternity. A sigh might escape the worker as they look upon you with the utmost pity. They will take you down a flight of stairs that you might expect to lead to the basement. They don't. As you press deeper and deeper into the underbelly of the institution, you will begin to hear a chorus of screams. At first, it will be barely audible, as if originating from a point a great distance away. But as you approach the end of the hallway, the screams will grow clearer and more thunderous, until they drone so loudly as to consume all other noises. The din will quickly become so painful that you will feel the unrelenting urge to claw at your own ears to escape it. Resist this impulse. The worker, stoically enduring the cacophony, will show you a door. As swiftly as they can, they will unlock it and run, leaving you alone in this cramped, dark hallway. This will be your last chance to run. If you decide to continue, open the door. The piercing wail will then end abruptly, leaving your ears ringing. The room you will enter will be coated in an almost tangible darkness that consumes all but the far wall. Manacled to that wall is an emaciated figure covered in raw lashes. He will stare directly at you with a maniacal grin plastered to his face, seemingly undisturbed by his festering wounds and the scalpel rammed into his chest. The only way to save yourself from this man's dark designs is to ask, who created them? He will cackle in a manner befitting the death throes of an animal before responding. His will be the most horrific tale you have ever heard, beyond such primitive concepts as pain and death. It will delve deep into the very essence of evil. Those of weak mind would go mad hearing it. When he finishes, it will be up to you to release this man from his terrible burden. Remove the scalpel, and he will shudder once in agony before falling silent forever. That scalpel is Object 3 of 538. It is up to you if the rest should be protected or destroyed. The holder of nothing. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls herself the holder of nothing. Should a look of sheer primal disgust mar the worker's expression, you will then be taken to a separate building, one that appears to be an old wooden outhouse. Inside will be a seemingly endless corridor that far exceeds the length of that outhouse. The corridor will be completely silent. Attempting to make any sound at the wrong time is a grievous, lamentable mistake. You will notice the lights in the corridor getting brighter and brighter as you make your way down towards the end. Eventually, you'll find yourself blinded by their brilliance. If, at any point, the lights go out, quickly shout out, "No! Stop! What you're doing is wrong!" while backing away. If the lights do not come back on, bolt for the door you came in through. It should still be open. Hopefully, you aren't far enough down the hallway for it to close on you. If it does, an eternity in hell will be preferable to what you will suffer. If the lights come back on, continue walking down the corridor. At the end of the hall lies a cell. The worker will open its door for you while glaring at you in disgust. Inside the cell will be a mad pastiche of colors, arranged in several harlequin-like formations. You must not be distracted by them, for at the center of the room is a naked young woman, slathered in blood and bound by strips of human sinew. And you would be better off not knowing what will happen if you take your eyes off of her face for even a moment. Focus on her and ask, what were they when they were one? She will look at you in the eye and speak the answer in incredible detail. It will be unlike anything you have ever heard, leaving you on the verge of both ecstasy and agony. It is not uncommon for a seeker to lose themselves in the euphoria, but you mustn't let your focus break, and you must take special care not to look upon her tattooed chest. Your mind will tempt you to gaze upon it, but you must resist, for if you fail, she will flay you alive and add your mutilated flesh to her bindings, and you will remain trapped with her, fully conscious, for the rest of time. That tattoo is Object 4 of 538. They desire to be one again, but they mustn't. The holder of light. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, close your eyes and ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of light. You will be led to a single door leading to a long, winding hallway, and then told to open your eyes. Open the door. The hallway beyond it will be pitch black, but narrow enough for you to feel the walls with outstretched arms and guide yourself forward. If, at any point during your trek down the hall, it is suddenly bathed in light, shut your eyes immediately and quickly make your way back to the door you came in through. If your eyes stay open for more than a second, what you see will force you to instinctively tear them out. If, on the other hand, the lights stay off long enough for you to navigate the entire corridor, you will reach another door. Look down. If you can see any light escaping from the crack beneath the door, flee immediately, for what you seek is not there. If no light escapes the next room, then carefully turn the doorknob and enter. The room beyond will be completely dark, aside from a single, dimly lit candle at its center. The faint light it emits will reveal the outline of a cloaked, motionless figure huddled over it. There is only one question that he will respond to. What can protect us from them? Say anything else, and the man will tear out your eyes and force you to take his place under the cloak for the rest of eternity. If you ask the proper question, a piercing scream will ring out from the candle, and a series of lights will illuminate the room, revealing images of the most horrifying thoughts, fantasies, and memories experienced by sentient minds throughout history. Most people cannot handle this event, turning violently insane or perishing instantly at the sight of such horrors. If you should somehow manage to survive the ordeal, the cloaked man will rise slowly and put his hands to your head, turning your gaze to meet his youthful face. Stare directly into his empty, gaping eye sockets, for if you look away from that terrible sight, you will be stranded in this room, forever forgotten by time itself. Do not turn to look as he opens your right hand and places a small, round object upon your palm. As that object touches your hand, you will find yourself able to ignore even the most fearsome agonies, unless you are in the process of obtaining another object, for the pain you feel then are far beyond any worldly suffering. Know that even this newfound power will never help you cope with the horrifying images you have witnessed in that room. They will be burned into your memory for all eternity. The eye you hold in your hand is Object 5 of 538. The awakening has begun. They must not be brought together. The holder of song. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls herself the holder of song. You will then be guided to a long staircase that spirals higher than the building stands. At the stair's summit is a door. As you open the door, a sudden wave of heat will pour out from the hallway beyond it and wash over you. Proceed down the hallway. As you walk, the air around you will grow increasingly frigid. When you feel as if you are encased in ice, you must stand perfectly still, remain silent, and listen. If, after a few seconds pass, you hear a baby crying, turn and run. No harm will befall you, but the infant's cry will follow you wherever you go. If you hear it for the rest of your life, count yourself lucky. If and when it stops, your firstborn child will die. If you do not hear a baby's cry, wait for the hallway to grow warm once more, and then proceed to the door at its end. Enter. The room beyond will be awash in green light. At its center will be an old woman turning the handle of a silent music box. Her legs have both been severed at the knees. When you speak to her, you must look her in the eyes. She hides a spear fashioned from the bones of her legs. Break eye contact, and she will impale you with it, and leave you to bleed to death in seemingly unending agony. She will respond to only one question. What was the song they used to play? The old woman will begin to sing in a language not of this world. Her melody will be the most beautiful one you have ever heard, bringing peace and serenity to your mind, body, and soul. You will find yourself vividly imagining a band of carefree children playing and singing, innocent as can be. And within minutes, the scene will eventually take a horribly sinister turn. The children will begin to fight each other, and their conflict will quickly escalate to the most brutal, lethal violence you can conceive of. They will impale each other on wooden poles, disembowel each other with sharp rocks, and even rip flesh from bones with their bare hands. You will witness these children, now merely tattered doppelgangers of themselves, spreading death and destruction more horrific than you could ever imagine on your own. You will see a naked boy, drenched in blood, singing with delight as he runs through a hellish wasteland, pursued by unspeakable monsters. They will overtake him and utterly destroy him, the song still issuing forth from his shredded lips all the while. Yet, inexplicably, you will remain calm and peaceful even as you watch this unspeakable brutality. When these horrific visions end, an intense pain will stab at your chest. Your heart will feel like it is about to explode. Do not let the agony break your focus, and do not break eye contact with the old woman, lest you invite a fate so horrible that an exploding heart seems lovely by comparison. If you remain steadfast in your gaze, the pain will eventually cease. The woman will stand up, though with your eyes still focused on hers, you will not know how. And she will place the music box in your hand. The music box is object 6 of 538. When its song plays again, they will all come together. The holder of the path. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of the path. The worker there will try his best to keep a look of indifference on his face while handing you a key which, as he will explain, belongs to an unused supply closet in the building. If only it were that simple. Upon locating and unlocking the correct door, you will find yourself staring out into a narrow, winding road suspended in an endless void, the sight only occasionally obstructed by the massive outlines of things best left undescribed. To fall off the path is to be thrown out of reality itself. A nightmarish eternity of inconceivable horror awaits anyone who either stumbles into the void by their own error, or is dragged off the path by the timeless monstrosities that reside on the outskirts of creation. If you should ever feel as if you were being watched while traveling through this piece of oblivion, the best chance you have is to immediately freeze in place and hold your breath. Continue to do so until your audience either loses interest or moves in to claim you. If the latter should occur, feel free to scream as hard as you want, though your screams will fall on deaf ears. At the end of the path lies a door that leads to a small, dirt-caked room. Propped up against the room's far wall is a heavily emaciated corpse. What's left of its skin has long since blackened with necrosis. Approach it and ask one question. How did they acquire guardians? In response to your query, the corpse will begin to stir. A subtle red glow will emanate from its eye sockets as it lifts its head and begins to whisper the long and macabre history of the holders. It will speak of unholy pacts and unspeakable atrocities. Within time, its tale will touch upon every form of evil known to man or God, and a few forms that neither can comprehend. Furthermore, if told the title of any holder, the corpse will reveal that holder's history and the meaning of the object that it protects. Well, almost any holder. The holder of the path will never go into detail about itself. This is because the ghoul hopes that you will not question why it seems to be lacking an object. Truth be told, the ominous glow from within the ghoul's eye sockets is actually the shining light of the object that was somehow sealed inside of its skull. That is Object 7 of 538. Its holder will do anything to keep you away from it. I'm just quickly gonna refresh my throat. As well as my lips. Okay. The holder of wealth. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of wealth. The worker will raise one eyebrow as if puzzled by your request. Ask a second time, and the worker will shrug and take you across the street where an opulent mansion awaits. If you are observant by nature, you may notice that the mansion was not there when you started your quest. Its owner would rather you didn't think about such things. Inside the front door will lie a grand staircase, spiraling up across the foyer. The walls will be covered with fine paintings, and a large marble statue will rest on a pedestal by the base of the stairs. The statue's eldritch features will evoke an image of a truly horrific beast, at once both alien and evil. Admire it all you want, but don't touch it, unless you wish to awaken this starved monster. Ascend the staircase. As long as you don't touch anything, you will be safe. Don't panic. At the top of the stairs, you will find a small wooden door. Its plain and unassuming appearance is a sharp contrast to its decadent surroundings. It will open on its own for you, so long as you are not afraid. Past it, you will see a man with a pointed goatee and short, cropped, gelled hair standing behind a large mahogany desk. His suit is made of both human flesh and Italian silk. He may speak, and at great length. He will talk about his amazingly beautiful house and the lovely statue of his concubine resting downstairs. Do not interrupt him, and do not answer any questions he may ask. When he is finished, steel yourself and confidently ask, "May I have my salary?" He will proceed to explain to you in great detail the value of life. He will talk of things worse than death, and he will tell you exactly what he expects you to do. The fabulous interior of the room will rot away, and the floor will turn from French weave to feces. The man's appearance will become cyclopic and unimaginably horrendous. He will fish out a small banknote from the pockets of his human suit and hand it to you. That note is Object 8 of 538. Its holder is counting on you to spend it. The holder of wisdom. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of wisdom. The desk clerk will chuckle and guide you to an empty room. They will hand you a key and tell you to wait some time in the room until you hear a bell ring. When it rings, you have to lock the door through which you entered. Wait until a second ring and unlock it. Once those instructions have been carried out, the door will open all by itself and reveal a long hallway with every conceivable color painted onto the walls, ceiling, and floor. Follow the hallway until you hear a little girl singing. Stop, close your eyes, and stay where you are until the girl finishes the song. If you fail to remain perfectly still, run. Run back to the door through which you came as fast as you can. Jump through the window of the room where you waited earlier, and you might live. Should you be unable to reach the window in time, you will be dragged back into the hallway by something that is definitely not a little girl. You will be pulled by this horror until time itself ends, forever feeling the pain of every soul dragged to an early grave. If, on the other hand, you manage to remain perfectly still until the song ceases, you will be free to either turn around and leave forever, or venture further into this realm. If you prefer the latter course of action, walk deeper into the hallway until you reach a human-shaped door. Open it with the same key that was given to you earlier. Step inside and close the door behind you. In the middle of the room, you will see a desk with a bright candle. Behind the desk is a man whose face isn't visible behind the shine of the candle. Approach, but always keep the flame between you and the man's face. For if you witness what he looks like, your gaze will be fixed on his until your own hands have removed every inch of skin from your bones. Stop when you are 5 steps away from the desk. The man will raise his hand and gesture you to come closer, but do not step any further than this. Close your eyes and ask him one question. Who will bring them back together? You will hear the man rise from his chair and begin to pray in a language that you will not understand. After 2 minutes, you will hear a name. If you hear Anubis, then you had best utter your own prayers in the short time you will have left to do so. But if it is Thor you hear, then you may open your eyes. You will see the man's severed head lying on his desk, still speaking. After another 3 minutes, his prayer will cease, and he will tell you how you will die. He will describe every minute detail of your horrible death, and you will be unable to move or react while he explains your end. Lastly, he will describe the one who will steal your life away from you, and go into such detail as to why it is necessary that you yourself will question which would be worse, you being murdered, or you being allowed to continue to live. Eventually, the head will finish its ghastly tale. It is object 9 of 538. It is up to you what you do with the knowledge of your death. For now, it is inevitable. The Holder of Ambition. Before I read the story, it notes the Holder of Ambition was either written or brought to the original resting place of these stories by Kinero Hitotsu. It is, at least in Generation 1 order, the first of these tales to which one can assign a distinctive name. The story. Spooky stories, yes. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit a man who calls himself the Holder of Ambition. The sound that escapes the mouth of the worker will be so slight and betray so little reaction that at first you may not even be sure your words were heard. All doubt will be settled when they guide you toward a stairwell lit by many windows. At the top of these stairs, the worker will leave you to continue your journey alone. You will find yourself standing at the beginning of an eerily calm hallway. Walk to the end. In all likelihood, you will encounter a shadow that moves along the wall. Do not follow it, for it is the one thing that will lead you to a place you do not wish to go. A place filled with your silent fears and failures, from which you cannot return. No matter what shape the shadow takes, and no matter how it eases and taunts your dreams with the greatest of your desires and hopes, do not even let it tempt your gaze, let alone your feet. If you make it to the end of the hallway without losing sight of your goal, you will find an open doorway with no locks, bolts, or restraints. A soft light bathes the floor in front of the opening. This is your one and only chance to leave without facing the holder of ambition or collecting his object. If that is the course of action you wish to take, then walk directly back the way you came, without attempting to peek around or into other doors, lest you discover what that seductive shadow hides. Beyond the doorway lies a room, bathed in an artificial light cast by high windows that cover each wall's expanse. At the room's center stands a tall, healthy man, standing naked and looking out into the light. His body is covered in incountable tattoos and scars. Only his face is recognizable as unaltered human flesh. You might be tempted to look where he looks, in search of the object of his focus. Feel free, but you will see nothing, and learn nothing. The man will not react to anything other than the question, what joins them together? When asked, he will turn to look you in the eyes. Meet his gaze, but know that if you are not prepared, if there is even the slightest doubt of your intentions, then you will lose yourself in his soulless eyes for an eternity. If, on the other hand, your gaze is an honest one, then he will begin to speak in a low voice. His tone will be a comical one, his tale told as if they meant nothing at all. But you must not miss a word, for this story is your preparation. Listen carefully to this tale, and remember every detail. When the man finishes speaking, he will bring his hands to his chest and remove the sutures from one of his more noticeable scars. As the stitches come out, he will bleed profusely and fatally. When the last of his sutures have come out, he will offer them to you, uttering his final words through his own gurgling blood. Choosing to seek leads to an inevitable fate. The clump of sutures is object 10 of 538. How you use them depends on what you hear. The holder of life. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of life. The worker will try to suppress a groan, and you will have to ask again. He will then lead you to an operating room that looks just like any other you might or might not have seen in your life. The worker will give you a scalpel, and then leave you alone in the room, locking the door behind him. You will have to wait. Wait for almost an hour. Then the door will open, and several people will enter the room, including a pregnant woman. The woman will lie down on the operating table. The other people, who will look like doctors, will prepare everything for the child's birth. While they do that, you will be able to ask the woman one question. How can they be reassembled? Say nothing else, or the doctors will begin to skin and disassemble you. You will be fully conscious while they do this. If you have asked the right question, the woman will begin to scream. The child is about to be born. You will have to wait until it's over, and one of the doctors will give you the child, moving his mouth, but without sound coming from his lips. As soon as he finishes talking and smiles, you will have to throw the child to the ground and ram the scalpel into its head, or else it will smash your rib cage and rip your heart out with inhuman strength. If you have thrown the child to the ground in time, it will, despite the scalpel in its head, Answer the question you have asked earlier. It will speak with a demonic voice that will drive you mad. While it is talking, the other people in the room will vanish without leaving a trace. After the child finishes talking, it will simply die, and the door of the room will unlock. You are now free to go, if you have not been driven mad by the voice. The dead baby is object 11 of 538. Dare you not remove the scalpel? Alright, the holder of catastrophe. A brief mention. There are two 12th holders. This one and the holder of death. In any city, in any country, go to any abandoned amusement park you can enter. Find the largest roller coaster in the park, no matter its condition. Take a seat on the far left side of the first cart. Then close your eyes and whisper, "I wish to see the holder of catastrophe." You will feel the coaster start to move, yet you cannot open your eyes, or you will find yourself moving through an endless void which you will never escape. The coaster will then slowly start to head up for what seems to be ages, as you listen to the rumbling of the tracks. You will then hear voices whisper at you and ask you to save them, yet you must not respond to them, or they will take you away to the same void to which they belong. The voices will stop speaking to you, and the cart will come to a stop. With your eyes still closed, you must grasp the bar in the cart as tightly as you possibly can, or you will be left behind forever. After you do so, you will feel yourself plummeting straight down at impossible speeds. The air around you will start to grow cold and continues as it feels as if you are freezing. As you sense the cart around you disappear, you must keep hold of the bar, as it is the only thing keeping you attached to reality. Abruptly, you will stop. Drop the bar and sit still with your eyes closed until you start to hear the sound of carnival fanfare in the distance, and only then can you open your eyes, to which you will be greeted by a large pinstriped circus tent a few yards in front of you, surrounded by meadows and happy people, young and old. You must walk towards the tent, staring at the small entrance which is shrouded by darkness. As you continue walking, the scenery around you will start morphing. Slowly the meadow dies. The carnival music slows and bends in pitch until it starts to sound twisted and demonic. The people decay in the very spots they stand. They will scream in agony and ask you to help them, yet you cannot look directly at them, or you will meet the same fate as these illusions. You must continue forward until you finally reach the dark entrance. Walk forward and allow yourself to be swallowed by the darkness. Yet do not stop or look back, as if you do either, you will never find an exit. Continue your walk into the void until you see a dim light in the distance and start to hear the sobbing of a man. Follow these two signs as you hear the crying of the man growing louder, until you can see the light is coming from a door in the darkness. Hang on. Excuse me. When you walk through the door, you will be greeted by a cold cement cell. In the far left corner, you will see the crying man dressed as a circus clown, covering his face with a small diary. You must slowly approach him as not to aggravate him until he is right by your feet. Sit down next to him and ask, "What do we have to lose?" The clown will then read you an excerpt from the diary through his sobs. The writings in detail describe the demise of millions of innocents, and the forces that so cruelly and coldly carried out this act. As he reads, illusions will appear around you, and in the sight of your vision, you will see every death of every person in the story, many of which were slaughtered, many of which were taken by disease. However, you must keep looking at the clown, as if you lose sight of him, you'll be stuck in this illusion, and you will become part of the story yourself. After he is done, he will stop crying. He will lower the book from in front of his face, revealing that he has suffered the same decay as the illusions which you had seen before. He will hand the book to you, which you must accept. He warns that you cannot read the diary yourself, or else you will be driven mad. He will then whisper, "When the stakes are high, best to play the clown," as the rest of his body starts to decay, as well as the room around you. You must close your eyes one more time, keeping hold of the book, and count to exactly 12 seconds before opening them. When you do, you will find yourself in the same seat of the roller coaster in which you began. The diary is object 12 of 538. These events must never be allowed to occur again. Hello, Zark Muckerberg. We are reading a series of scary stories that are kind of creepypasta adjacent, and they're known simply as the Holders. The premise is that there are 538 sacred objects, powerful objects, and there are various trials to which a seeker of any object has to go through in order to obtain, any which one. We are on number 12 right now, and I'm reading these stories because I actually succeeded in my goal of 500 rooms with Spooky's JUMPSCARE Mansion, and because I finished them prematurely, I decided to start reading this series, which I've been wanting to read for a while. 12 out of 538, yes. I don't intend to read all of them tonight, obviously, but, I will read more in the future. I'm not sure when I will stop exactly, but sit tight. This is very much a stream that you could probably leave in the background and just listen to as you do anything else in your spare time. Feel free, if you are so in the mood. Anyway, okay. The Holder of Darkness. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the Holder of Darkness. The worker will mock you, but you have to stay as calm as possible. Keep asking him until he stops denying and withdraws from his counter to guide you through the corridors. As his behavior changes radically, stay on guard, for if you start hearing one single tiny sinister hiss, you should turn around and flee as far as you can, covering your ears, because the time was bad. If you do not escape in time, the faint sound will turn into a dreadful growling that will soon merge into a continuous shriek of sheer pain until madness floods you and leaves you to die in a deafening agony. If the warden remains silent, he will lead you to a closed door with neither handles nor a lock. As he pushes it open effortlessly, you will see an ascending, winding staircase which can't possibly lead to any upper floor of the establishment. The door will close behind you, and you will not be able to push it back. Past this point, climb and do not turn back, or you will fall into a bottomless pit waiting for living prey to chew upon. Do not count the steps, for knowing how many there are will drive you to insanity. One will then creak, and at that point you should stop. Another door should appear on your left. If it is on your right, then pray for a swift passing. Enter slowly into the room, and a blinding, obscuring darkness shall descend upon you. You will be required to walk straight forward, for straying even slightly will lead you to be devoured by the roaming and unknown creatures, observing you with blinded and purulent eyes. You will know you have arrived when coldness grips you. At that very moment, freeze, or you will die by the hands of the holder who is standing right in front of you. In complete darkness, even closing your eyes will not prevent you from his horrid appearance. It will form into your mind as the most outrageous monster ever conceived, and madness will try to creep into your brain as worms over a decayed corpse. His fulminating breath and constant mumbling would be enough to make you cry, but be advised not to utter anything louder than a weeping, for you might wake what must not be awakened. The only question you will be able to whisper without being torn apart will be, what do they fear? You will feel movements all around you as shudders animate your opponents. You will hear what nameless and incurable diseases will strike the world if they were to be frightened, the countless terrors their own fright will unleash on those with a weaker mind than theirs. Amidst the atrocious enumeration of the endless sores the world will suffer, you might hear the simplest, almost ridiculous, yet implacable and certain truth they all fear. Do not move again. When your head is about to implode, it will stop. If you are still able to move, you will find a door in front of you which leads you outside of the ward. There, in the open in the grass, a broken hourglass will wait for you. You are free to pick it up. It is object 13 of 538. Their knowledge of their fears, or your knowledge of their fears, is up to you to share, but you may not want to use it as a weapon against them. The holder of the adversary. In any city, in any country, venture across the highways and lonely roads until you reach the city's bottom rung. Walk among the ones society has cast away, beggars and poor picked raw by the demands of those better off. Should you come across a scruffy man under a large oak tree, holding a bottle of liquor in a paper bag, his shirt sweat-stained and his pants muddied, do not be afraid to ask him if he knows of the one who calls itself the holder of the adversary. More than likely, he will smile knowingly at you, like an old friend with whom you just shared an inside joke. Do not be alarmed. The man knows of the one you search for. The less fortunate of us often note things we will never dream of. He will guide you to a manhole and casually slide the metal lid off with one grimy boot. Tossing you a small flashlight which flickers precariously, he will urge you down into the darkness. Once inside the putrid womb of the sewage system, you will come to realize that it bears no unpleasant scent. No scent whatsoever, in fact. But, turning on the flashlight and gazing at your surroundings, you will notice you are in a round room. On all the walls will hang partially decomposed bodies, their owners forever suspended in a state of half-awareness, feeling all the pain and horror of a body withering and rotting around them. Corpses litter the floors, and you may notice that one nearly touches you. Do not shrink back. To show cowardice would invite no creature or entity that you would do well to know. Once you have observed your surroundings, the smell will arrive. It will be the most awful thing you could imagine. Human and animal excrement, sulfur, rotting bodies, burning flesh. You will want to claw your nose from your face, and the watering of your eyes will nearly blind you. But do not cower, do not run, and resist the urge to vomit. You will find a thought in your head, unbidden. We are the remains of the ones who could not face the adversary. There is no source of this whisper, though it may curl around you as if carried by the stench itself. Suddenly, the bodies will rupture and burst, one by one, releasing more of the horrible stench and bathing you in rotted bodily fluids and slimy chunks of human refuse. The corpses then will sink to the floor, and what rises from the slurry is a creature of pure beauty. Man, woman, or something else entirely. It depends on you yourself. It will not be possible to shake your gaze from this gorgeous, naked human until you realize the creature is an idealized caricature of you. Confident, heart-achingly gorgeous, smiling a gentle, patient smile. It will be everything you yourself could ever desire to become. You will be overcome by a sudden jealousy, a total anger, a need to annihilate this perfect you. Do not give in, no matter how strong the temptation. If you do, you are doomed to the adversary's wrath, the eternal torment of the damned you have witnessed prior. There is only one question you must ask the exquisite creature. What could they destroy? The holder of the adversary will laugh at you melodically, condescendingly, and will explain to you as though you are a small, stupid child exactly the answer to your question. It will spare you no details, even the most horrific. Though horrifying, the story will be interesting and calming to listen to, and you'll find yourself absorbed in a childlike fascination with the holder. You may liken its story to one told to you by a loved one or a guide when you were a child, and you will know that you now have the key to defeating the adversary, that which the damned could not acquire. At the end of the story, the holder will ask, smiling pleasantly, "What will you do now, my child?" If it asks you something else, or tells you something different, your fate is sealed, and when you eventually emerge from the sewer, the ragged people you have encountered will descend upon you like ravenous animals and tear you apart with tooth and nail, feeding on your body. There is no escape, only the knowledge that it will happen. Regardless of your fate, the holder will place an object in your palm and close your hand around it. "You mustn't open your hand until you are free of this place," it will say as a fitting goodbye. "Now you must turn and leave, and do not look back. Once you escape the sewer, and if you are lucky, you may open your fingers. What you will find there is a green plastic army man toy. That toy is object 14 of 538. It understands how to defeat your greatest foe, and must never be allowed to join the rest." Quick hydrate. The holder of the past. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, Ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of the past. At the last syllable of your sentence, his eyes should open wide and stare at you as if you are attempting to see past your skin into your soul. Don't ask any questions, because he won't speak to you, and in the case that he does, he will wish he hadn't. He will take you down a long hallway, and you will walk with him for what will seem like hours. Stare ahead, straight ahead, the entire time, for if you look at the floor, walls, or ceiling of the hallway, you will run into a dead end, and the worker will pursue you with a hellish bloodlust until you are completely disemboweled. After exactly 350 paces, the worker will stop, turn around, and pull a watch out of his pocket. He will turn the dial backward 1 hour, and at that point, you will have 1 hour to complete your task. If you don't, then there are no words to describe your fate. The lights will go out for exactly 3 seconds, and when they turn back on, you will be in a room with no doors and a red-tinted skylight shaped like a pentagram. This will cast a blood-red star in the middle of the room where a splintered cherry table with 2 seats will be. Sitting at the seat closest to you, look up. Look down again, and a man with long, dirty black hair will be face down on the table. He will answer to one question. Where did he once stand? The man will speak not of a place that exists on any map, but will describe the room in painfully grotesque detail. Pay very close attention. He will enumerate exactly how many of what horrible object hang from spears protruding from the walls. You have the rest of the hour to find the room and sit in his throne. If you fail, I suggest you become armed. Heavily. His throne is object 15 of 538. If brought together, he may once again return. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. Wait, did I say which one this was? It's the holder of the future. Okay, when you reach the front desk, ask to see someone who calls himself the holder of the future. Do not follow if the attendant offers to show you the way. He is not the true guide, and will lead you into madness. The true guide will fall silent, and hand you a sheet of paper on which the way forward is written in lines of blood and fire. Walk forward, concentrating on the writing. If your focus doesn't waver, you will pass through both desk and man to find yourself in a long, disused hallway. It may once have seemed opulent, full of color and promise, but the walls are now stained and the carpet is black and filthy. As you pass through the hall, images will flicker in previously unseen windows. It may seem that, from the corner of your eye, you see friends, long dead, beckon to you, or lost lovers turned young and new once more as they offer themselves to you again. Voices seem to whisper that the windows hold second chances, opportunities to make things right. You can choose again, they seem to say, but you mustn't look up from the paper in your hands. To do so is to glimpse fully what watches you from outside, and that would leave you at an end truly beyond salvation. Accounts differ as to the hallway's ultimate, impossible length. Some say that you must continue to walk until you have glimpsed each of all your possible futures through the windows. Others imply that the closer the time of uniting approaches, the shorter one will find the journey to the end of the hall. If the latter is true, may all who enter find their path long beyond reckoning. You may only look fully away from the paper at the end of the hallway, and even there you may never look behind you, The door before you leads into a ballroom that, like the hallway, has fallen from its former bright elegance into filth and despair. Move forwards into the gloom until the door and all chance of escape are lost behind you. Walk with care. The holder watches you even now. The path forward once passed straight through the center of the room, but the center has not held over the many years, and the way has drifted. You may never find your way if it has drifted too far, and you will spend the rest of your unnaturally long life wishing you had given yourself to the window's half-glimpsed temptations. If you are fortunate, however, you will find a single point where the little light remaining fades away completely, and there you must close your eyes and wait, regardless of what should happen next. If you have pleased the holder, you will come to hear a cat's soft purr, and you will feel its warmth twining around your feet. You must keep your eyes closed until a voice has asked you, "What will you do with them?" 3 times. To answer the first or second time will turn the purrs to snarls as the touch of 1,000 razored claws pricks your throat. Only after the third and final time may you open your eyes. In front of you will be a woman lying on a bed. As with the rooms that preceded her chamber, she might long ago have been stunningly beautiful, and though she lies naked on her bed, she is nauseatingly fat, her skin pockmarked with bed sores and dead flesh and syphilitic blooms. Hundreds of cats cluster around her. Eventually one will come to stand expectant at your feet. Speak only to this one, telling him, "I will do what I must." He will then teach you the language of the cats, and once you have learned, the others will tell you a secret that was never meant for human ears. You must never reveal it until such time when you have nothing else in the world to give. Cats are jealous creatures, and delight in the pain of those who betray their trust. Their secret is the 16th object of 538. I may speak no more of it. The holder of the present. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of the present. The worker will look at you vaguely. You have to ask them again. Once the worker understands your question, he will lead you through a door into a hallway that looks like it's an extension of hell itself. In this hallway, you'll find nothing but darkness and the feeling of unimaginable horror. If you should hear a shriek coming from the left of you, start running towards the door you just came from, or you will be devoured by demons yelling incomprehensible babble from mouths awash with vile poison. If you should hear a shriek coming from the right of you, start running towards the door that your path leads to. Ignore the worker and keep running until you reach the door. If you should hear another shriek coming from anywhere around you, close your eyes and pray to the gods that your death will be a swift one. Should you not hear a shriek, just follow the worker until he unlocks the door at the other end of the hallway. He will now ask you to enter, and he will leave. In this room, you will only find 2 things: a naked girl whose left hand is a mangled stump, seemingly torn to shreds by an otherworldly maw, and the rusted keychain she is holding. You must look at the keychain, and may not avert your eyes from it. You can say nothing, except ask her this one question: why do they belong together? Now move eyesight to the face of the girl. She will look at you and tell you the most gruesome story of the present, how this present has come to be, how it is now, and eventually how it will be. The girl will slowly move towards you. Do not move and stay still until she is but 1 footstep away from you. She will put the shredded piece of rot that was once her left hand on your shoulder. She will then whisper into your ear, "The time has come, and now you must die." Do not react to this statement. Just keep staring into her eyes, and eventually you will feel something being pushed into your hand. The keychain is object 17 of 538. Only the keys that are meant for it can be put on it, and all other keys shall be repelled. It appears as though there's not a direct link to the next story. I'll have to look back through the list. 17, 18. The holder of passion. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of passion. The worker will blush and daydream. You will have to ask 2 more times until they finally nod and gesture you to follow them. They will lead you into a hallway. You will hear a muffled diesel engine, but for the moment it does not matter. Ignore it for now. Instead, listen to any whispering you hear. If it stops, it is vital for your sanity that you shut your eyes, for a horrifying creature will emerge from the ground and after a short time leave through the ceiling. Should you hear the whispers in unknown languages until you and the warden reach a door made from stone, you are safe. Now, listen to the engine. If it keeps running, proceed and open the door. Do not even try to imagine what happens when the engine stops. Nobody has ever been able to tell after it has stopped. Now, if the door has been opened, the worker will leave you alone. Enter the door and walk straight forward until it closes. Now you have to say the words, "Excuse me, I'd like to learn from you." If you did anything wrong, you will be dead before you even realize it. So do not worry much about this. Should nothing happen for several dozen seconds, you may resume walking. Do this until you reach a heart that is as big as your head. Do not touch it. Instead, turn around. You will see either the most beautiful woman or the most horrific creature your eyes have ever witnessed. The latter only appears if you have touched the still beating heart. Its sight alone will almost drive you insane and haunt you for the rest of your life. Should you see the woman, look at her eyes, nowhere else, even if she does not wear any clothes. The beauty will naturally blind you, and you'll be forced to wander around in her realm until the end of your life. If you are able to keep looking at her eyes, you may ask one question. Are they alive? The woman will suddenly moan soundly and lie down on the ground, beginning to satisfy herself by masturbating. You must now quickly close your eyes and hold your ears shut with your hands, as her moaning will slowly destroy your mind and body, should you hear it clearly. After some time, you will feel someone touch your right shoulder. You may now open your eyes and lower your hands. Do not turn around to whoever touched you. Instead, look at where the woman was. She will now be gone. Only ash is what is left of her. Search within the ash for her uterus. Take it and close your eyes. Open them again after you felt something cold touch your head. You will be back in the mental institute, behind the warden who guided you to the stone door. The uterus is object 18 of 538. It has one child left to bear. The holder of innocence. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of innocence. The worker will say nothing, but a single tear should fall from her eye. She will guide you to a forgotten hallway in an abandoned wing of the rundown institution. She will not enter the hall with you, but will only look into your eyes with a cautious hope, her own expression seeming to beg for salvation. Should you enter the hall, you will not see much, save for dirty, broken fragments of what were once beautifully carved ivory statuettes. Before long, you will hear a soft whimper from the other side. Pay close attention, for if the whimper stops, then all hope is already lost. There is no use in running away. As you turn the handle of the simple wooden door on the other side, a warm and cozy light will greet your face. You will find yourself in the bedroom of a young girl of 18 years. The girl herself will be sitting cross-legged on the floor at the foot of the bed, her only garment an open nightrobe exposing the entirety of her pure body. She is the source of the tortured whimpers, and nothing you say to console her will end her torrent of stifled wails. Only if you ask her, what happened when it was first created? She will become silent, to glance up towards your face. Her beauty will render you breathless, and if you are still capable of any thought, it will be only the realization that in her you see everything in this world that you truly love. Suddenly, you will realize that the girl is bleeding from her nether regions as a grotesque phallus emerges from the petite orifice between her legs. The object will pulsate with its own life, and you will find that it is hypnotizing you. Do not look away, for you do not wish to try its patience. Soon, the room will disappear before your eyes, and you will be standing in the most serene clearing you have ever witnessed, and all of nature's fauna that you recognize will go about their lives around you, with no fear of anything, not even death. Suddenly, though, a shadow will fall over the meadow, and you will witness the forest all around burst into a pillar of flame. What happens next, no man can dwell on for long before going insane, but in the strength of the human mind, you will endure. In the end, you will hear screams and moans and groans, but what will overcome you more than anything are the quiet whimpers, the stifled cries of all the sullied innocence of the world that was. You realize that these cries will continue to be heard all across the globe until the world's end. None can endure those near silent pleas and still maintain the slightest hope for the future. The illusion will fade, and you will find yourself back in the room. You will find the girl lying dead on the floor, her face a mixture of agony and horror, her already decaying body feeding the now towering phallus and giving it a sinister glow. That is object 19 of 538. If you touch it, then it will be yours. But if you let it master you, then it will use your body to seek and assemble all the pieces, no matter what the cost. And I do believe this will be the last story that I read tonight. the holder of deception. Actually, wait, let me double check. Okay, yep, that's the right one. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself into. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of deception. The worker will look at you with an expression of shock on her face. Then, with superhuman speed, she will attack you with her baton. If you are not knocked unconscious by the first blow, flee the city, for they will know what you were after. When your consciousness returns, you will be in a magnificent courtyard on a starry night. And there will be a great stone staircase that appears to ascend to the heavens themselves. Climb this staircase, but never look behind you. If you do, the stairs will begin to crumble, and you will plummet into the void for an eternity. After what will seem like days of climbing, you will come to a landing overlooking a great marble amphitheater styled in the ancient Greek fashion. Descend to the bottom of the amphitheater. An old man in opalescent robes will be waiting for you on a dais in the center. This storied old man will be lecturing as if there was a great crowd. However, you must not listen to him, for not a word he speaks is true. If you are drawn in by his charismatic speaking, your mind will be completely subjugated by his deception, and you will be his slave for eternity. He will react to one question, and one question only. What is the only truth you are permitted to speak of? The man will look down at you with an expression of great sadness. He will then impart on you a story that will shake the very foundations of your soul with great sorrow, but will leave you knowing one important truth. The number itself is not as it seems. He will then motion you towards an exit from the amphitheater and continue his lecture. Turn away from him quickly, for you will now be able to see the legions of horrific, twisted demons sitting on the seats of the amphitheater. Do not gaze towards any of them longer than a moment, or else they will tear you apart and add you to their collection of souls. Walk to the exit as quickly as possible. There will be a great grimoire on a stand next to the door. Take the grimoire and exit through the door. You will find yourself in the back alley behind the asylum. The grimoire you clutch, with its pages firmly strapped shut and locked with a great steel padlock, is Object 20 of 538. If you wish to see past the deception and reunite them, you must find the key. And that is all for tonight's stream. I hope you all enjoyed that collection of horrific tales, grotesque and disturbing, as they very well may seem. And if you were here earlier, I hope you enjoyed my my galumphing through Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. At some point later in the month, I intend to fulfill the other 500 rooms, and you know, if I mean, I guess I would anticipate to go through the next 500 just as quickly as I did tonight, in which case I'll probably have something secondary in store for next time. Not sure if I want to do it on next Thursday's stream, but yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. As for Monday, I actually have a single plan for the game that I am going to play. And that is, I am planning to play Spore. Now, I know Spore is not really a creepy game whatsoever, but nevertheless, there's somewhat of like a small little project that I've been wanting to do, and I've been seeking the help of fellow Lily Pals and VTubers to, just mildly contribute to this little project. Essentially, it's just gonna be, I'm going to be designing spore creatures based on any VTubers or Lily Pals that replied to a tweet that I made a little while ago. And there's still time to get in if y'all are interested. I know I lost my train of thought. There needs to be other stuff that I need to mention. I feel like I'm just slipping. It's just on the tip of my tongue. Can't remember. But what right. I was gonna give a proper shout out to Lunari Valkyrie, aka Yakuza Mom, because I actually joined the Moonlit Yakuza Twitch team. Hooray! So, support her and support all of the Yakuza members as appropriate. As for the tweet in particular, if y'all are interested in getting a spore creature of your own from yours truly, just quickly pull up Twitter. Scrolling. Right here. Copy link. Post right there. Alright. Next Monday, gonna do some sporing. I've kind of been on a mild fixation of spore lately. I hope you all tune in for then. And now, how about we find a friend to raid? Possibly a fellow member of the Yakuza team. We got Simrai. We got Bell Beeps. We got Phoebe. We got Sappho, Serena, Suga. Oh, and Yakuzamon is actually streaming right now. Otherwise, there's Havarine, there's Marion Viren, there's Clover, there's Ellie, there's Val, there's Glowy Mean, Lily, Kiddo Lilac, a fellow frog tuber, Wishing Arya, Hikaite. So many friends, so many peeps, so many options. But I think I'm gonna prioritize Yakuza Mom tonight. She's actually streaming from her secondary Twitch channel, Yakuza Mom VT. Right there. She's playing League of Legends. Let's go send her some love. And once again, I hope all of you Lily Pals had fun tonight. I know I did. And I hope to see any number of you on Monday. If indeed you can make it, I probably plan on doing a 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Woo! Creativity! But yeah. Yeah, that's about all I got for tonight. Thank you all my Lily Pass for support, and thank you, Lee Short, again, for the raid. Until Monday, oh yeah, swimmy!